So this book basically in general, I like it because it got to like really explain to me about my father, Jehovah God, and mostly I get to know more about his son Jesus Christ, and that like got to know more about the Holy Spirit at the same time. But here's something you need to understand. I didn't go to church back then. I to this day I didn't go to church because I didn't understand the concept of going to church. You understand? So I've been to church, and there was the thing of like when you're just in the middle of a group of people, and then people are just having a simple discussion about cars, and you yourself know that you're not a petrol head. What the heck are you doing that you're not gonna understand anything or not even benefit anything from that conversation? You understand? So that was me when I went to church as a little boy. I was that kid like who looked like they go to church Monday, Wednesday, Sundays, and Fridays. But hell nah, I never went there. I look like that kid who knows more about God, but I didn't. I just didn't because until like I don't know, as years passed in my life, my peers from school, people I played soccer with, the boys, man, they all for some reason they had this book in their rooms. I felt so left out that I didn't have one till like one day I found it in a box in the garage. The box, funny enough, is that it was kind of not buried, but it seemed like it was hidden. And then I was like, I have my own Bible now. I felt so special. So after a while, is that like since I found it, it was a case of, now read it, But then look at this, bruv. Look, just look at the depth. Okay, not the depth, but how wide it is, the breadth, not the breadth, but the width of this majestic beast of knowledge. This is like too thick. Look at the thickness, bro. I'm not reading this. Just look at how long the text is, bruv. I was like, hell nah. I'll just make a plan on, I don't know, somebody will read it for me. Then years passed. Nothing. I was like, nah, bro. Maybe just try to read it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just try to read it. And then I was like, okay, let me try. And then I opened it. And when I opened it, bruv, there was just too many things going on. I was like, what the heck is going on? Who is God? Who is Jesus? What the heck is going on? Who's Abraham? Man, who the flip is Adam and Eve? Man, it was like crazy experience. Days passed, weeks passed, months passed, years passed, and then I didn't even read it. It was always beside my bed. I don't know. I always kept it with me because I felt so safe for some reason. I don't know. Until one day I was like, nah, flip it, man. Gotta read it. And I started reading it, and there's a lot of understanding with it. So on my side, it's like I would like to thank, God himself for like introducing himself in a quite odd way in my life, because like never went to church, you understand. So yeah, I like to thank God for that. And every single time when I read it, I felt like somebody I wish they would have the same experience because it opens one's mind. You get to open your mind and you get to understand some things. You end up finding peace within yourself. You end up becoming grateful for the little that you have, you understand? And that is what I appreciate. It was the case of finding the evidence that people were talking about because I grew up around people who knew this, but then they never, actually explained this to me. The wisdom in this book is beyond, man. I wish somebody would read it to somebody. I don't know. Somebody started a Bible reading study thingy majiggy. This book is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, guys. You should try it out because there's a lot of information and wisdom in it that comes from the book. This book is a great, underrated, delightful book. My experience with the Bible is wholesome, sacred, and spiritual. It's a part whereby I got to understand humanity and mankind at the same time, where we actually come from and how things actually happened. You understand? So for me, and also it opened my eyes and a lot. I appreciate those people who are around me who actually gave me the curiosity to read the book. The people who mentioned God every single time I was with them in that specific time. I appreciate it. I wish somebody could experience what I experienced, but in a far more better and quicker way, because I feel like if I knew about God earlier in my life, man, who knows? Or maybe this is the earliest time I've had to get to know about God Himself, and I appreciate it. That's why now that like I feel different as well, because like most people, they were in, in a way, not kind of, they grew up in the church, right? With me, it's like I had to go to church. I was like, I didn't get invited. I was invited, quote unquote, but I wasn't invited, quote unquote. It was a thing of like, I'm going because of people are going, not for the fact that I want to go and get to know about God. I was going there because of it was a normal thing to do as a human being, right? And then until I sat back, I asked myself, like, what the heck is going on, bro? I don't. Who's this God they're talking about? Like how like I like my encounter with God, because it's like He slowly introduced Himself to me. This may sound weird. I've learned that God sees all, and He knows what you're thinking, what you're seeing. He knows it all. So I feel like back then, I didn't neglect it, but it was a phase of, when you don't know where to start. You don't know where to start, how to start, with whom to start. It was that case. But then the way Jehovah took His patience and time for Him to introduce Himself to me, that was most precious to me. And I would like people to experience the same thing that I've experienced, because it's so heartwarming and warm welcoming at the same time.